So into the charts we go, guys, and a beautiful little down day on Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. Again, I say beautiful because when you got some shorts out there, there's nothing wrong with a little downside action to make money off of. And that's what we did today, guys. Let's jump right to the MATIC chart. And again, this was picture perfect, as again, we talked about it coming back to this level. Now, it's even gone a little bit below that at this point. But the bottom line is I'll take a 15.36% gain any day of the week. Literally, we entered it on February 17th, out 1 week later, 7 days later for 15.36%. That's swing trading at its best. Notice the resistance up here. Notice the support down here. And it's even starting to break a little bit lower. But again, doesn't matter at this point. You take it, you bank it, you say thank you very much to the investment gods, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. So I love this market, guys. Again, it just shows you how swing trading and using the charts continues to rack up the gains. And again, think about this. I mean, you have people that were long 60, 65,000, 69,000. Where are they now? You have people that were going long at 25,000. Sure, it was going to break out, and this was a new bull market, and all of a sudden we have the market starting to crater a little bit and come back in. All right, and that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, again, in a bear market, in a bull market, you can go long and short 1,000,000 times and make about 100,000 times more money than anyone else is by just holding long. And that is the beauty of charts. And here's your Bitcoin chart, guys. There's your 25,000 dual resistance factor, and there's your rollover. Now, where are we going on this chart? Well, the first thing to mention is you do have a little bit of support here, right? This kind of sideways chop, if we look at that, it's kind of right around the lows of the day right there. But ultimately, I still think we're going to go down and test this level right here, right around 22,000, maybe 22,100. After that, we probably get a small bounce, and then eventually I do think we break lower. At least that's what the charts are showing us. So again, the rollover should continue back eventually down to 18,300 or so. Now, am I still looking at a potential for 12 to 13,000 and then maybe 9,000? The answer is yeah. Yeah, at this point, yes. Now, granted, there are a lot of supports on the way down. We obviously have a major double bottom down here around 15,600. We have this one right here, and we even have an upsloping trend line that we can utilize as well. And again, that one's right around the 18,000 level as well. And again, I think this level is very similar to what I showed you on Ethereum, which again will be major support as well. So again, if this hits here, yeah, you'll get a small bounce, but I think this is where you get the big bounce, right? This is where the bulls are going to really fight, because if this level gets lost, we then retest the lows, and if that happens, sure, you'll bounce off double bottom. That's just natural human psychology to buy the previous low pivot, but then eventually it breaks lower. So this is going to be the big one right here, whether or not that can hold. All right, so again, same thing if we go to Ethereum here. If we take a look at that, look at where it bounced today. Remember this trend line sloping up. There's the low, pierced it right there and got a little bit of a bounce. So we're still in this area. Then you have this support around 1,500, which eventually should be tested. But where is the big level going to be? Just like with Bitcoin, upsloping trend line, flat top, right in here, right around 1,300, 1,325, somewhere in that low 13-ish area. That will be the major support level. That is a huge, huge level. All right. Again, that's what I plan. As of now, that's where I plan to cover my short on Ethereum at this point. Now, you might say, well, why did you take your money off of MATIC? Well, same thing as when we took Avalanche off the table a few weeks ago, right? Now, look at what we did, right? And this is case in point. In fact, let's go back to that right here. This is case in point exactly why I'm a swing trader, right? So we were short Avalanche up here, covered it at support. Then we re-shorted it up here, and now we find ourselves legit in the money, almost $3 on this. That's almost 15%. Again, even though we covered the short here, so if we had held on, we wouldn't even be making as much money as we did from this short. Now we've almost doubled our profit, and the chart is in the same range. That's using charts. That's why you have to learn how to read the charts, because that's what it can enable you to do. Literally, someone who's just holding, they essentially are in the same position as they were with no extra profit. Here, we're almost doubling them up on profit. Very cool stuff, guys. All right, am I looking to cover Avalanche if it gets down here? Yeah, probably. I'll probably take it off the table, just like with MATIC, right? We inch out of positions just like we inch in. So, again, I think that's really an important kind of, trading mentality where you don't try to hit a home run on everything. you try to hit singles and doubles, right? So you look for small gains, because when you take a single and double off the table, you're pocketing some rewards, and you're also taking a little of the risk of what if it turns around and doesn't go your way. So at least on MATIC, for instance, we banked that profit. On Avalanche, the last trade, we banked that profit. So as we come down, we'll do the same thing again and take a little bit off the table. Okay, so again, still have Ethereum short, Solana short, Avalanche short. We took MATIC off today, Polygon. We'll let these three run a little bit more. If Avalanche comes down or one of these other ones comes down more, I'll take that off the table, then let the remaining two run. And as they come down, we'll take another one off the table and basically just keep doing that. And if we bounce back up and it's a good short, I'll short it again. If we fall sharply and we go into support, guess what? We're going to buy it. Like, I think, honestly, at this stage, if we go down on Ethereum and we went let's say by next week, for some reason, we crash all the way down to 1,300, I'd cover my short and then flip it into a long for a bounce. And where would the bounce probably take us? Like, if we were able to buy it here at 1,300 and change, you look for a bounce back to 1,500, right? This was support. If we come down and break it, the bounce takes us back to former support is now resistance, right? So that's really the mentality here that you want to have. And again, it's a very freeing mentality of being a swing trader, because long-term investors tend to fall in love. And again, and I've said this a million times to you guys, but I can't, repeat it enough, is that I always say only love something that can love you back. You love your dog loves you back. You love your partner loves you back. You love your kids, they love you back. A stock or a crypto is not going to love you back. Right, and this always bothered me about Tesla stock. People were just so diehard Tesla in 2021, 2022 when it was at ridiculous levels, almost essentially $1 trillion company. And I always said, listen, you got to look at that chart and say that's ridiculous. The run it's had is ridiculous, and you can't fall in love with it because Elon Musk isn't going to be like, yeah, that John Smith over there, I just really love him back, and I'm going to make sure I keep the stock price up for him. No, of course not. So you got to use these for what they are. They're trading vehicles. They're for you to make money for you and your family. And that mentality is unbelievably freeing for individual investors. In fact, to me, it's made all the difference in the world in terms of me making wealth, real wealth. Because again, think about people, and I go back to like the 2008, 2009 Great Recession. There were people that were just, buy and holds, right? And they were slowly inching in, and then they literally had to postpone retirement when the markets collapsed in 08 and 09. And again, if you looked at the charts back then, I predicted it. So did my partner, Nick. The charts essentially were telling us there was a big issue coming. And sure enough, there was. And so you got to be able to read these things, and you got to be able to cut things. When it's not right, when the chart's not looking good, when it's overbought or oversold, you got to be able to react accordingly. Looking at Solana, again, in the money here, 25.50 is the short trade signal. It's trading at 23.15, so nicely in the money. I'm still going to hold this because I still think at some point we break this line here, and then I could see myself maybe taking profits around $17. Maybe it gets down to 14 and change. I'd be much more apt to kind of cover here, and then by chance if it dumps here, then I would buy it there. And again, you might say, well, why wouldn't you just hold it to down here? Well, because there's no guarantees that it goes down there. It could hit here and then start going back up like this, right? So you have to do a risk-reward assessment. What are the odds or probabilities of it breaking here and going here versus just covering it, taking an amazing gain, and then if it by chance happens to go down here, then you buy it, right? And that's great support right there. All right, so let's quickly go through a couple of these other cryptos here. And again, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. I got the whole weekend to kind of do videos with you guys, give you guys another video or two over the weekend. Although I will say that if things are very quiet on like a Saturday or Sunday, you'll notice that sometimes I skip one day here and there just to give myself a break, to be honest. Literally doing probably do 350 videos a year for crypto and another 275 for stocks. It's a lot of videos. It's a lot of content to produce. So I do appreciate your leniency on that. Every once in a while, when it's dead and there's nothing new to report, all right, let's just let it go. All right, anyways, bottom line is we see it starting to curl over. This bullish pattern not looking that great anymore. It still could recover, but it's definitely not looking that great. We weren't going to get in a trade here anyways. All I said to you guys was we would look to short that in the upper ranges there. We can look at XRP. XRP, again, still has not confirmed above this area here, this trend line, which again just kind of makes me think that as we get closer to this court decision, this judge's decision, maybe that's what it's waiting for, one way or the other. So we'll have to watch and see. But right now, yeah, interesting that it has been above the line so many times and yet never has confirmed once the breakout. Does make me suspicious. Makes me wonder what's going on there. So, all right. Other than that, I think let's call it tonight or at least my night. I know some of you guys, it's the middle of the night. Some of it's morning, midday, and evening. But the bottom line is, great job on the MATIC, guys. And again, let's see if we can't make some more money on these shorts. I don't mind holding the Bitcoin long, as you guys know, as ultimately I'm a huge longer-term bull. And again, I would have gotten out, 25.4, and it just didn't get there. So that's okay. Be patient. We'll see. There's always a chance it rockets up again. I mean, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, and it's not bad to have a little bit of long exposure out there, especially on something as solid as Bitcoin, just in case it does break up and take out 25 and head towards 30,000. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your morning, day, or night. I will talk to you soon. Take care.